All right, so we're sailing right along to lesson number 20 of our databases and SQL video tutorial course. This one is going to be about ordering. So what you're going to learn in this lesson is how to order the data that's actually being returned from your queries. So when you perform a select query, you can actually order your data either in ascending format or in descending format. Okay, and I'm also going to show you how to order your data by multiple columns, because that is indeed possible. So ordering. Before I jump obviously into the syntax for ordering, you should first understand exactly what it is. Ordering really is not a very tough concept to grasp. Okay, it's just when you use ordering, you want to return the query data in an organized fashion. Okay, so typically that allows you to order something from A to Z, from 1 to 100, which is in ascending format, or in descending format, which is the opposite, which is Z to A or Z to A, however you like to pronounce that particular letter, or 100 to 1, or a date, or a time, or whatever. Okay, MySQL has the ability to figure out exactly how to order every single one of its data types. Okay, and you can obviously order data by any column or any columns, multiple columns that you would like. Okay, so since it's fairly simple concept to grasp here, simple topic, we'll just jump right into some examples, because it's very little additional syntax to actually learn and understand. So here's how you'd retrieve your bank account transactions ordered by date, because that's obviously something that is useful. Usually whenever you look at your bank statements, typically your transactions that you've made are ordered by the date in which they were actually made, right? So this is how you do it. You would say select star from transactions, and then you would just say order by transaction date. So you pick the column that you want to order by, and you just put that in the list of columns that you want to order by in the order by line, essentially. And again, this doesn't have to be on the same line or on a different line. This could be up here on the same line if you wish. SQL doesn't care about line breaks. Okay, all it cares about is the terminating mark, which is the semicolon. All right. So the order by syntax should always appear at the end of your query. So if you have a group by and everything, I think at least I'm hoping I'm not mistaken. When you group data, I believe you have the order by at the very end, but I can test that in just a moment to put my money where my mouth is there. So this is what you would actually get from the order by transaction date statement. You see here the transactions listed are actually ordered by the transaction date. So the first date listed is the furthest away, and the last date listed is the most recent. Okay, it goes without saying that the default ordering state of the order by keyword is going to be in the ascending format. Okay, so when you don't type in anything after the transaction date, anything after the columns, it'll just be ascending as the assumed default ordering. So let's show you how to order by multiple columns. So let's say we want to send, or we were sent a request for all the transactions in our database to be in ascending date order, but presented in order of bank accounts. So in other words, the scenario is the bank wants us to give them their data in the form of having everyone sort of grouped together. Not grouped together, because I didn't want to use that grouped keyword, because we're not actually grouping, but we're more or less putting them all in the same area together by their bank account ID. Okay, so first they want to see it by bank account ID, then they want to see it listed in ascending order by transaction date. Okay, so all that is you just add whatever you want to order by first comes first in the order by statement. Okay, we want to order by the bank account ID first and then by transaction date. So then that's why transaction date appears second. So the result is the transaction dates you see do not appear perfectly in order, but what does appear in order is the bank account ID. So all these are sort of quote unquote grouped together. So all the bank account ID 1s and then 2s and then 3s. And within these sort of sub groups of ordering, the 111, if you look to the left, you see that the bank account ID 1s are all ordered by transaction date. And then number 2 ordered by transaction date. And then number 3 ordered by transaction date. Okay, and you can keep on going with this, or you could have flipped it around and said transaction date first and then by bank account ID, etc., etc. It's completely up to you with how you want to actually order your data. Okay, So you can also reverse the ordering. Like I said, you can do it in ascending or descending format. So how do we do descending? Well, this is how we do it in MySQL. You just put the keyword, well, almost the full keyword descending to the right of the column or columns that you wish to order by. Okay. Now, if you had multiple columns, you would want to, and multiple different ways to order them, you would want to specify the actual keywords next to them. So why don't I actually go ahead and show you? I think this is the end of my lecture. Yes, it is. Now I'll go to my my actual database and see if I can show you some real examples here. So let me flip this up. And so here we have select by transactions, order by transaction date in descending format. So sure enough, you see you will see the transaction dates being listed in descending format. We have the most recent date listed first and the furthest date listed last. But let's say I wanted to do transaction date descending, but before that I want to do bank account ID ascending. Okay, so that's another way that we could do it. So here we have the bank account IDs are grouped together just like we had before, but the transaction dates are now descending. So you see you can sort of mix and match them. So now what happens if I wanted to do a group by statement? Group by, let's see, bank account ID, order by, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if this works just to make sure that the ordering syntax is correct. Yes, it is indeed. Now, if I were to flip these around, let me do the order by first, and let's see if it gives me an error in my syntax just to see if I'm correct. And sure enough, it does. So the ordering always has to appear at the end of the statement, okay, for it to work properly, even if you have a group by and a having, transaction date greater than 2014, I don't know, 08, let's say 25. All right, that'll knock one of those out of there. So there you go. So always the order by has to appear at the end, and you'll be good to go. And it's really as simple as that. That's as simple as or as complicated as the ordering scenarios really get. All right, so hopefully that's been of great use to you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.